at first sight, but now we both see love in a different light. Keeping love alive, it's a tricky thing. You gotta let it fly, gotta give it wings. If you wanna make it right, lose and pride. Don't hold on too tight, you know you gotta try. Keeping love alive, keeping love alive. Still here we are, my friend, over 10 years down the road.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. And wow, I got another amazing guest that's going to bring it, going to inspire, going to uplift you, and most importantly, she's going to educate you. And she's going to tell us that we have to, in order to have, balance, and in order to achieve things in life, you have to have a business flight plan. And so I am excited about this guest, and I'm not going to give her name away right now. I always have to let my great co-host and executive producer do that. So how you doing, Michelle? Welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Sorry, I was just having a little coughing fit there, but I am doing great. I'm really excited about the guest we're going to have on today, and she's going to be educating us about a life or business flight plan. So, she's going to bring it, James. What do you think?
Oh, I know she's gonna bring it. Just put it like this. I've been checking her out on all the things that she's been doing, and she's doing some amazing things out there. She's an author, a mother, a classmate. A lot of different things out there, and she is going to bring it. So, wherever you're watching this set, you watching on E360 TV, YouTube, StreamYard, anywhere that is, or Twitter, uh, LinkedIn, or 20 other plus live streaming networks. If you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments portion, put in and ask this young lady any questions that you might have. And also, why don't you click on to that YouTube and subscribe to our channel. So let's get this thing started now, Michelle. Can you please introduce our great guest? Tell
Yes.
our listeners and viewers the purpose, and let's bring it.
Yes. The title of today's show is Creating a Life or Business Flight Plan. And the purpose of the show is getting to know motivational speaker, habit and productivity coach, 3 times best-selling author, and business flight plan strategist, Dr. Tia Murry. And we're going to talk about why we should have a life or business flight plan and how to navigate through turbulence and discuss good habits that lead to productivity and maintaining a positive mindset. Let's talk to you a little bit about Dr. Tia Murry. Dr. Tia Murry, known as the FLI Chick, is a motivational speaker, again, habit and productivity coach, 3 times best-selling author, and business flight plan strategist through her business, FLI LLC. Dr. Tia has 22 years in organizational leadership within local state government, well-known nonprofits, and small businesses. She has managed multi-million-dollar budgets and significantly increased organizational revenue by building sustainable financial growth strategies via her assessments. Her proven expertise has transformed HR initiatives through organizational planning, restructuring, development, implementation of HR policies and procedures while significantly lowering HR operating expenses. Dr. Tia is committed to empowering and equipping women internationally with the tools to courageously share their voices. With an engaging presence, her message and teaching styles are transparent, truthful, and humorous. She is a living testimony that life may take you through turbulent storms, but you can manifest your heart's desire. And FLI, the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, welcomes Dr. Tia Murray to the show.
How you doing,
Hello,
Dr. Tia? How are you doing
everybody.
today? You know, it's an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I tell you, I've been waiting on this moment for quite some time, and now we finally got you on. So, how you been?
I have been so good. Listen, I am so excited to be here with you, be here with Michelle, to be here with your audience members, just just to sit, to talk, to have conversation, to leave some encouraging words, drop some nuggets of information on the audience members, and just ecstatic.
Wow. You know, so I want to get started right away. Can you please tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit more about you, where you grew up? Um, Tell them where you're at right now. You know, what state you live
Absolutely,
in, where you grew up in.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I love to talk about me. Absolutely. So, again, I'm Dr. Tia Murray, and I am the founder CEO of Fly. And the thing is, I spell Fly differently. I spell it FLY, and I share a little bit more about why I spell it differently and why it's still called Fly. I'll share some more about that. I am in the beautiful state of Oklahoma, and I have had so many wonderful things that happen in these last few months. Things have been very busy, whether I am speaking, whether I'm making TV show appearances, whether I'm
So I
and
think
some
we
mentoring
might have
work. To be
lost.
here, there is nothing better than being able to sit down with a fellow alumni and have some great conversation. And again, it's just a privilege.
Wow. You know, so I want to throw a wrench in the conversation even before we get started. So,
Okay.
what is the best word that describes you and why?
The best word to describe. And now, see, I didn't prepare for this, but let me tell you, I'm flexible. I'm flexible. I can handle this. I can handle the pressure. No, I think the best word that describes me would definitely have to be flexibility, because when you have lived as long as I have lived and gone through the ups and downs of life, whether it's personally, whether it's professionally, one thing that has been consistent is that you have to be flexible, because things always happen, and sometimes when things happen, it's beyond your control, and you just have to adjust. So I would say the best word to describe me would be flexibility.
Wow, flexibility. That's yeah, that's a great adjective because we all have to be flexible in order
Absolutely,
for us to
absolutely.
grow and in order for us to have an open mind. Flexibility is required. So, so Tia, you've been in the organization leadership industry for over 22 years,
Yeah.
and you know work with a lot of great organizations and businesses. What did you learn about yourself during the time that you were working with these great businesses?
Let me just say that the biggest thing that I learned about myself is that I have to be okay with myself. I have to be appreciative of myself and realize that regardless of all the hard work, regardless of how many goals I may meet, that not everyone is going to appreciate my effort. Fly, I know you know this, but I have learned through this whole process is that
I
those
think
three letters,
we keep taking hits. On
have
it.
learned through this whole process is that those three letters, those three words can be used whether it's personally or whether it's professionally in order to take you to another level. You have to forgive. And I'm not just talking about people doing things to you. I'm also talking about you forgiving yourself, because have we not all made some poor decisions that we're like, what was I thinking? I knew better, but yet I still made this poor decision. So the first thing you have to do is forgive, and then you have to let go. And when I talk about let go, what I'm referring to is sometimes we have to accept a responsibility for our part in the action, regardless of what it is. Acceptability, accountability for our part, and then you have to let it go. Sometimes we're good at we'll let it go, then we'll snatch it right back up. You really got to let it go and make peace with whatever it is. Now, notice I didn't say forget it. I said, let it go. So if that thought or that situation or that trigger that happened comes back up at whatever time, that it doesn't overcome your life. And then the next thing you have to do is initiate. And initiate, we all know that in order to move forward, in order to go to the next place, you have to do something. You have to make a change. And so that's where the whole life and business flight plan strategist kind of came from, was from FLI, is because what I come to realize as I was going through my journey, as I continue to go through my journey, I realized I had to take some action, but I needed to create some plans. I needed to create some options. So whether it was my life and what was happening, or whether it was an organization that says, hey, we're out here and we're doing some great and wonderful things, but we're struggling and we can't quite figure out what it is. Sometimes you have to pull back and do just an overall assessment and then create plans. I believe plans are what helps us to move through, whether it's your personal life or whether it's your professional life. Having some sort of plan is what will help you go to where you're trying to get to, where you can reach that destination, wherever that destination may be taking you.
Wow. And you put it quite eloquently. Um, for a lot of people, you mentioned that you have to let go.
Absolutely.
And it's for many, it's hard for them to let go because they still got this thing in their mind where
Mm-hmm.
every time something do not go as planned, they pull it back. They pull
Absolutely.
it back,
Yeah,
and
and you're so right that they pull it back. One of the things that I when I work with people and when I talk to people, one of the things that I always try to do is how. Is to give some how to. It's easy to say forgive, let go, and initiate, but how do I do that? How do I do that? And so some of the things I do is I just share techniques and things that work for me. I share techniques and things that has helped other people in order to move through that process so they can work on their plan, so they can get where they want to go. Listen, I have yet, and I have spent a lot of time in the field of social services. That's where I've done majority of my leadership work in, is in the field of social services. I have yet to meet someone that says, I want to stay miserable. Leave me be. I want to be miserable. I don't want anything more. I don't want anything better. They just don't know how to. And that's what the plan is for, is to help give you the how to you can, whether it's through mind mapping, whether it's through affirmations, whether it's through journaling, whether it's through morning walks, whether it's through having accountability partners. I try to make sure that I provide some how to's that can help that person get to where they want to go. Because once you start that motion going, once you get going, you're going to get there. And here's the thing. And here's the thing. It may take a minute. Okay. It kind of depends on where you are in your life, where you are in your business. It may take a minute because you can't expect for it to happen in the hour. You cannot expect for it to happen in 48 hours. It may take a minute, but what you can focus on, better today than yesterday. If you keep saying better tomorrow and doing things better the next day, by the end of the year, you increase 365% because each day you were working for something better, and you'll start making progress and things will begin to fall into place.
wow, well put, my friend. I tell you, we got to take a station break. But when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the things that create a positive mindset And then
Okay.
we're gonna
Love
start talking
to.
about those good habits that we have to develop. So if
Okay,
you want to be part
absolutely.
of it, if you want to be
Looking
part of
forward
this
to
great
it.
conversation with Dr. Tia, all you have to do is go to the comments wherever you're watching this at. Put in the comments, ask her any questions that you want, and I promise to get it on the screen, and we'll get back to you. So we're gonna take a break, but we'll be back shortly. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C.
I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. We got something you and me, and I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Hey, I'm so drawn to you. I'm so drawn to you. Yeah, yeah.
Hello. Hey, I'm James Cooley. I am the founder and CEO of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, Options, Opportunities, Lasting Choice Program. Our primary mission is to help build a foundation of our youth and young adults and communities. And we encourage everyone to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. And the way that you do that is, first of all, you got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are here for a purpose. You also have to be able to step out your Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I got my fantastic guest here, Dr.
Mhm.
Tia Murry. And I tell you, she's educating us already. Just the first segment, so you know what's getting ready to come. I mean, she getting ready to bring it. So if you didn't grab your 5 or 6 bags of popcorn in the beginning, on the next break, run and grab you a couple bags of those popcorn, girl. So we getting ready to do it. So if you want to be part of the conversation, just go to your comments wherever you're watching this at. Put in your questions. If you just want to say hello Tia, hello James, you can do that as well. Dr. T. Now you was explaining um, certain things that people could develop a positive mindset. And can you go off into that a little bit more? Because sometimes in building habits, you have to have and building positive habits. You have to have a positive mindset. So can we talk about that?
Absolutely. 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 Listen, before anything can happen, your mind is what tells you what to do. Your body reacts to what you're thinking. So think about it like this: the average person has 70,000 thoughts per day. Now, if the majority of those thoughts are negative, then you're bound to start reaping and having negative behavior. So if you're mindful of your thoughts, which controls what you do, controls what you say, then your life will begin to change. So, one of the things that you have to do is be aware of how powerful your mind is. It is literally one of the most powerful instruments that you have. So, with that being said, what you feed into your mind is very, very important. So, you can just say, oh, I'm going to have a positive mindset. That's just saying it. Remember, FLI stands for forgive, let go, initiate. It requires some action. So the action on your part for a positive mindset, it can be whether what you read, where it could be meditation, what you hear, the conversations that you have, the environments that you're in. And I'm gonna go ahead and put a pause and a pin in it right here, because some people say, listen, this is the environment that I'm in right now. I can't do much, to change due to circumstances. And listen, I get that. I understand that. But what you can control is reading. What you can control is what you listen to, as far as taking in the information that's going to benefit your life. So don't let where you physically may be a hindrance to you in taking the information in your head, in your mind, that's going to be able to elevate you to that next level. It's you can do it in any environment, because I'm telling you that
Yeah, we keep taking little hits on the
a
internet.
regular life
Just
will begin to change. And you just have to do that work in order to take advantage of what your mind is starting to think. Because what happens is when you educate your mind, you start seeing things differently. You start understanding things differently. You start thinking differently. You start walking differently. You start talking differently. You become a different person, because of what you taking in is different than where you were before.
wow. You know, you're absolutely right. Before I go on to the next question, Dr. Maria, Diana Maria, how you doing out there? So she's watching and giving us a hearts up. So you mentioned something about what you take in, but it's also, I believe, it's the people you hang out with. I mean, if you are not hanging out with positive folks and you're hanging out with everybody, I ain't saying everybody, but the
Mhm.
people that you hang out with, if they're negative, some of that is going to rub off on you and it's going to mess up your mindset, I believe. Can we talk about
Absolutely.
that a little bit?
Absolutely. And I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna put this out there. Sometimes it's our own family. Okay. Sometimes it's our own family. And now don't go and say, Dr. Tia said I can't hang around you because you ain't positive. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that sometimes those that are in our inner circle, whether it be friends, whether it be family, if they are not whom you believe is not fitting where you're trying to do or where you're trying to go, you may have to make some changes to whom is in that inner circle in order to get where you're going. And let me tell you, it can be a lonely journey in that in between time until you're able to get connected. And so, one of the things that I firmly believe is people enjoy being connected to other people and having accountability partners, whether it's a Facebook groups. There's many Facebook groups that you can join that have people that maybe you can connect to and you can reach out to. It doesn't always has to cost you money, because sometimes we just don't have it, because whatever the situation that we're going, because so I don't want to hear, oh, I don't have the money. What I want to say, you have to find, you have to initiate, you have to look for what it is that you need in order to get what you need, in order so you can elevate. And like I said, whether it's family, whether it's friends, it can be a lonely journey, it can be uncomfortable. But I'm telling you, if you are doing the work and you're making the progress forward, those that are supposed to be in your tribe, those that are supposed to be in your inner circle, they will start to gravitate to you. Because I'm a firm believer in that whole, attraction, that they will be attracted to you, because what you say, what you do, what you think, what you post, all of that will begin to change. And positive people are connected to other positive people.
Wow, you mentioned something. I give a lecture on this sometime when I'm speaking. I call it the circles. And
Mhm.
well, real quickly, how I look at it like this: say, Dr. Tia, you're the person. You know, you're the doctor, and then the next circle, that's the first circle around you, is the people that you trust the most.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's not always family, like you said, but I'm a true believer. If you make that circle too big, you if it's more than three people that you trust the most, uh,
Mhm.
and if it's a even number, you're not going to be able to tell where the betrayal is going to come from. Somebody's going to betray you in that if you have your circle too big. And the next circle around that, is your enemies, people that don't want you to succeed. So my point is, we have to pick and choose our center circle carefully,
Mhm.
and we have to make sure that they are feeding positive things into our mind, so we can develop the right mindset, so that
Mhm.
we can develop these great habits that you get ready to talk about a little bit more.
Absolutely, absolutely. Good habits come from developing a positive mind. So that's why I always talk about the mind first. It's because you have to have that positive mindset in order to develop good habits. And I'm a firm believer, just a lot like James Clear in his book. He wrote about habits and habit stacking. I'm a firm believer in all of that because one, I did it myself and I had to develop habits. And that's how I'm able to do as much as I'm able to do, whether it's in my personal life, whether it's in my professional life, I'm able to do as much as I do is through good habits. But what you need to do, and when you begin with the habits, is really identify where you want to begin. And listen, I'm not saying make a list of 50. I'm not saying make a list
Okay. uh, you
want
develop
to
great
and
habits.
go from there. And I'm a firm believer in rewards. Now, I'm not saying go buy a new pair of Louis Vuitton shoes or nothing like that. But what I am saying is that as you accomplish a goal, say congratulations to yourself. Job well done to yourself. Acknowledge that because sometimes when people hear the words habits, they frown because they see habits as something uncomfortable because they're having to change. No, habits, the right habits, the good habits can again increase your life, increase your productivity, increase the odds of you landing at that destination, whether it is the house you want to buy, whether it is your company clearing 6 or 7 figures, whether it is you personally growing and becoming a better person on who you are. Start with these habits and then gradually add to those things. And then those habits that you realize that you have that are negative, or negative habits that you want to change, make it uncomfortable to achieve those habits. And an example that I like to share is I've always, like I said, in my leadership positions, worked in the field of social services. And one of the things that happened is social services is not a 9 to 5 type job. Things always happen after hours. People's lives are always disrupted because we're talking about the human life. So one of the things that I was going through was my work phone was always glued to me. But it was getting to a point where I had allowed myself, because I had to take responsibility for my action, is I was allowing myself to be distracted in my morning times with, oh, let me, my phone is over there buzzing. Let me check the emails. Let me check and see what's happening, what's going on, because it was right there by my nightstand. So that wasn't the habit that I wanted. So what I did do was I moved my work phone into another room where I didn't hear it, where I didn't see it. and trust that the people that I had in place to do their job were doing their job, and that the world would not fall apart if I didn't sleep with my phone on the nightstand. So I moved my phone to the other room, and I replaced that habit of in the mornings of going through my work emails and being distracted and being all kilter with more time with God and more affirmation times for myself, breathing and exhaling. You have to replace that negative habit with something positive, because you have a void there and you need to fill it with something. So again, it doesn't have to be all big and dramatic in the beginning, but you can start by just gradually just stacking those habits in productivity and good things. And that's how you're going to, again, get where you want to go. That's why I'm able to have the meditation time I have with God. That's why I'm able to have the relationship. That's why I'm able to look at myself in the mirror every morning and say, hello, beautiful. How are you doing this morning? Was because the habit that I didn't want to have happen, I made it difficult, because, I'm not getting ready to get up and go in there and check my phone. I knew that was the time that I was going to dedicate, spending time in meditation and prayer.
Wow. Hold that thought. We're going to take a station break, but we're going to
Absolutely.
come back and we're going to pick this up and we're going to continue. So if you want to be part of this great conversation with Dr. Tia, I tell you, go to the comments, continue to comment. I'll make sure that I put it up. I tell you, it's your life. I always keep that in mind. It's your life. Just like she said, create positive habits. We'll see you shortly after the break.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and we're talking about habits and habit stacking is what we were talking about last time. And I got Dr. Tia Murry here, who's really educating us and enlightening us on the reason and why we should have great habits. And Dr. T, I want to pick it up from there again because you really educate us and how does habit contribute to productivity in the organization, making sure that the organization has created an environment where people can establish great habits?
Okay, I'm sure that the majority of people have either experienced it or even seen companies and organizations, or wherever you go, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's Walmart, whether it's Dollar General, whether it's the mall, if they are unorganized, don't have certain guidelines, then it's just chaos. Then it is money out the door. And so, one of the things that is so vital is that plan. And in that plan, identifying the steps in order to accomplish whatever the organization or company's overall goal is. A perfect example, whether it's Chick-fil-A, you know what you're going to get when you go to Chick-fil-A. You're going to get great customer service. That's a habit that they have created. You know, it's almost as soon as they give you your food and you say thank you, they say my pleasure. You don't even got to say thank you. They automatically say my pleasure. Again, there are certain guidelines and goals that each company need to have in order to be successful. And you have to do and I have an organizational assessment that I do with small businesses, with any organization that, you know, that I've worked for. And that's actually how I created it, was having to do it while I was in my leadership positions, is looking at the framework of what it is that you are doing and where it is that you're trying to go, and how do you create those habits. Because what happens is when you develop good habits, and people have an expectation of what's going to happen, and they know what's going to happen when they have interactions with you, the likelihood that they are more willing to do business with you. Because there's nothing worse than going somewhere, having a bad experience. There's nothing worse than having an interaction with someone and they didn't deliver as they promised that they would deliver. But if you have, again, your plan, and in that plan, it outlines some things that are just, this is what's going to happen. This happens, and then this next thing's happen. Sometimes it has to be very detailed in the beginning until you get into the flow of things, and then you can back off of that. You have to make sure, again, that those things are communicated. Because, see, the other thing that I had experienced that I share is, it does no good if only leadership know what's supposed to be done. It has to flow through the whole entire organization of what needs to be done. Your employees need to be a part of the buy-in of what's happening with the company and what the next step is. Because when people know and it becomes routine, things flow smoothly. Now, I'm not saying that turbulence doesn't happen, but if you have them trained, if you have them, something that they can have a point of reference to, whether it's through habits, because like they know that if this happens, then I need to go over here and do this. The likelihood of you navigating through that turbulence, because turbulence is unavoidable. The thing is being prepared for when they happen. No one knew that COVID was going to happen. And a lot of companies found out through going through COVID that they were not prepared. I don't think there was probably a lot of organizations and companies and things that were not prepared. But what they began to do is like, okay, let's look at our processes. Let's look at what can we do to make the best out of this situation and be prepared for the next time. They found different ways in order to communicate. They found different ways in order to reach their clients and reach their customers. They found different ways in how to do things. They began with that plan.
Okay, so that brings us to, you already talking about the plan, but the title of the show is Creating a Life or Business Flight Plan. Can we delve deeply into that one? Because I can just tell it's interesting. You already done start talking about it a little bit. Yeah, so tell us why you come up with that, and what you want the audience and our viewers to get out of this.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me tell you first why I came up with a life and business flight plan idea. Again, it was just through my own experiences. Life experience sometimes is the very best teacher. And again, what I noticed that I needed in both scenarios, whether it was life or whether it was business, was I needed a plan of action, one that was doable. So I just came up with that idea through my life through my life experiences. And then the next thing that you have to do is the life plan. Life happens, and there are some good things and there are some bad things that may happen. You have to position yourself in order to make wise decisions, because you can only act on the information that you know. So that's why I start back with, first, let's start with the FLI method, which is forgive, let go, initiate. And then I'll talk about the mindset, because once you start doing all of that, then you have to have that mindset where you have to be open to new ideas, to new ways, and then you have to create that plan. And that plan can vary. That plan can look different for different people. It's very individualized. Is whether it's for a company or whether it's for you personally, it can look different. And you can have to have checks and balances on it. You know, as I don't know, I'm sure you have. When you get into an airplane and you're flying to wherever you may be going to, the pilot has a flight plan on how to get there. You everything in life requires some type of plan. You pull up your GPS. How many times have you pulled up your GPS on your phone so you can get to your destination? Plans are just a part of everyday life. And when I really began to look at it and I really began to examine it, if you have a good plan, when things happen, just like on that GPS, when you're driving down the highway and it said there's some type of accident up here that you need to make a detour, you can do your life plan, you can do your business plan the exact same way. But again, that comes back from all of those other things, whether, you know, the FLI method, whether it's, you know, having that positive mindset, being open and taking in all that different information. That's how you're going to be able to navigate in order to get where you want to go.
Wow. And, you know, you put it on the nose by using a scenario of a pilot, because we all need a pilot, and the pilot could be us in
Absolutely.
knowing which direction we are going. Because if you don't know where you're going, you can jump on any road and it's going to get you there, wherever
Absolutely.
that road ends. I mean, that might not be where you're planning on going, and it might not be the best possible destination, but you're right. And I think that each one of us has put thought into our plan and our life, whether that's our business life, whether our personal life. We have to have some clear directions on exactly where we are going. You know, so
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, the other thing, the other thing that I want to share about a plan is that sometimes it won't happen exactly the way we want it to happen. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it may be a shy less, or it can be 10 times more. You have to be okay with whichever it may land or however things may go. But what you can continue to do is to, whatever the goal may be, and if you didn't reach it, work to reach it. Whether you need to set it higher, set it higher for the next time. Sometimes you may not land at where you thought you would be, but that doesn't mean that you can't take off again and get to the destination that you want to do. The worst thing you can do is just stop moving. Because if you think about it, if you're going and then you stop, you go nowhere. Nothing happens. You have to continue to keep going in order to reach where you want to go.
wow, well put. We got to take another quick break, and we're
All
going to come back and we're going to talk about your book. We're going to
right.
talk about your
Okay.
course. I'm going to figure out what you mean by catch the red eye flight to success. I mean,
Okay.
it's when we come back,
Okay.
we're going to talk
Absolutely.
about all of these great things. So I tell you, continue bringing these comments, and I tell you, we'll be back shortly after the break. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooper.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phrases and stages. These experiences teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to It's Your Life with James Cooley. James is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. James is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get you equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, James Cooley.
It's your life.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and I got the fantastic Dr. Tia Murry. I mean, it's such a pleasure having you on, and I think that's Dr. Bell there.
Yeah, Dr.
Hello,
Bell. Hello, Dr. Bell.
Dr. Bell. How you doing? How you doing out there, Dr. Bell? You know, and as Dr. Bell, as you and Dr. Diana Marie, you guys see this young lady right here is putting it out there. She's telling it like it is. And I want to start by getting an opportunity to learn a little bit more about your book and the online course and all of these other great
Absolutely.
things that you're doing. So I'm going to turn it over. We got about 7 to 8 minutes before the end of the show. So let's do this.
All righty. Love to, love to. So the name of my book is named after my business, Fly, Forgive, Let Go, Initiate. And you can go to my website. And now you can also go to Barnes & Noble and purchase and purchase my book. But one of the things that I talk about, it's a tell-all book. It's really come from an emotional place. It talks about my journey to fly. It also shares some techniques on how you can move through some things that happen. I talk about how a job did me wrong. I talk about failed relationships, but I really share more so on what I did to make it through. So again, the name of my book is Fly, which stands for Forgive, Let Go, Initiate. I do also have an online course. It is called How to Break Through, Easy and Proven Techniques to Building Good Habits to Increase Your Productivity and Living a Happier and More Fulfilling Life. And that is available. You can go to my website, which is FLI, F-L-I with Tia.com. And there's a link there where you can click on the link and learn more about the online course. It is a self-paced course. Just go through the course as you please. I talk about habits, building habits. I talk about some of the things, again, that I've done that has worked. I've talked about some things that people I have worked with, what they have done and what they have worked in order to build good habits. And I have a couple of other projects that I am working on. I will be speaking at the She Is Me conference next month. I'm excited about that. It's 55 speakers in 5 days, and I was blessed to be selected to be one of those speakers. And I will be digging a little bit more deeper into creating a life flight plan and more about that subject matter. But again, things are just moving along really good and really great. I, again, offer coaching services. I'm a speaker. I love sharing information. I love mentoring. Just all of those great things that are out there. I just really have a love and a passion for doing.
You know, the world, and I said the world, need more people that are open-hearted, open-minded,
Mhm.
and that cares. Uh, that's the only way, Tia. I think that we're gonna make this world better. We're gonna increase the people that comes in our life, and I tell you, and we'll be able to mentor others because I believe that if a person is doing the right thing, I mean, I try to do the right thing because I don't know who's watching.
Absolutely.
And plus,
Absolutely.
I'm a little nervous of not following God's plan. You know, I've been there
Yeah.
where when you walk down that path and he knock you off and really knock you off and knock you down, and then he give you an opportunity to get back on path, just like you were saying. You get a chance to take off again. You get a
Yes.
chance to get back, and that's what I believe that is so important
Yeah, I
about
I,
being.
I agree with you 110-fold. Listen, one of the things that I just love is mentoring and coaching, and I'm gonna tell you why. I would not be where I am without the support of a mentor or a coach. I am a living example of having a good coach, having the right mentor. When you look back over life, and some of the people that I look up to, that's what they talk about. They have a mentor, they have a coach. Sometimes they have 3 or 4 of them. That's how valuable it is to have someone in your life. Think about it. Jesus had 12 disciples. I mean, again, there's always a need for growth, that you have someone or someone's in your corner that can help you get to the next level. And so I have a passion. I love it, because again, I couldn't be where I am without the support of a mentor or a coach. Because here's the thing, I don't know everything. People have different perspectives, and usually outside of a small helicopter, but when you get on a plane, it's usually 2 pilots. It's usually 2 pilots. So with that being said, so they'll complement each other on the journey in order to give you that opportunity to get to the next level. So again, it just mentoring and coaching is valuable.
It is so valuable that we have that, just like what Dr. Gina just said. In order to get to the grow to the next level, you it, you can't always be the smartest person in the room or think you know everything, because you don't. Yeah, you
Absolutely.
have to have someone else that you believe in, that's going to help you along the way. So we're down to about the last 2.5 minutes of the show, but I got to ask you this.
Uh-huh.
And so if you can answer these next 3 questions,
Okay.
30 seconds or less. Dr. Tia, what is the best definition of success to you?
The best definition of success to me is me loving me. Because through my journey, through my personal experience, I didn't always do that. I started experiencing success when I started loving and appreciating me. So I'm successful because I appreciate me and I love me.
Never heard anybody put it like that before, but yes, yes, it comes down to you have to be comfortable with who you are and you loving
Mhm.
you. So a follow up: what does the catch, the red eye to success? What does that mean to
Absolutely.
you?
So what that so
You know I
what
wasn't
that
gonna let you get away with that one.
well, and you know what? I'm glad you asked too. Listen, so this is what I mean. You can go to an airport at any time and catch a flight to anywhere in the world. That's the same thing that can happen in your life, personally, or in the business. You can catch the flight at any time and get to your destination. I use the red eye because usually the red eye is a late flight, because sometimes you've gone through some stuff in order to get to the airport. But once you get there, you can catch the flight and land where you want to land. So it doesn't matter where you are in your life, whether you in your 20s, whether you in your 30s, whether you in your 40s, whether you're like me or in your 50s, in your 60s, in your 70s, you can always catch the red eye. It may feel like it's the last flight of the day, but it's going to get you to your destination if you go and you get on that flight and do the things necessary in order to land at your destination.
Love it, love it. Now we're down to the last 45 seconds of the show. Please tell our viewers and our listeners how they can get in touch with you, how they can get your work, how they can enhance your services or enlist your
Absolutely.
services.
Absolutely. So if you want to reach out to me, feel free to. I am on all the social media sites. Feel free to. But by far the best way is through my website, which is FLI with Tia.com. And you can go there. You can even make appointments there from my website in order to spend time with me, to have conversations with me. My book is available on my website. All of the things that make it where you can contact and be connected to me. My social media handles is available on my website. It's easy to navigate, and I would love to speak to anyone that wants to sit down and have some conversations about life or business flight plans.
Dr. Tia, it's been an absolute pleasure. Got to get you back on. Got to get you back on.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Anything for you, Doc?
so it's been an absolute pleasure. I want to leave our listeners, our viewers, with one thing. Just like Dr. Tia was saying, always have an open mind, always have a positive attitude. But most importantly, always dream big,
Mhm.
think big, and be big at everything that you do. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life. I'm Dr. James Jason.